So Sammy Hagar once fed me tequila and signed my bicep.
I can't believe we're talking about Sammy Hagar's tequila.
Cabo Wabo was coming out. He was making an appearance at the House of Blues, and they sent out an invite to all media, to come down and meet the man that birthed the voice of rock and roll himself. And so I'm not really a signature guy.
I lost my job over this product. I lost a writing job over this product.
I'm not. No, really?
True story. I was writing for this website, and Sammy Hagar. So they had Cabo Wabo tequila, but they were coming out with a tequila mezcal blend called Mezquila.
Okay.
And I was very heavily and very seriously into my mezcal writing phase, and I took this very seriously. And they asked me to write about it. I was a freelancer, and I said, I just don't believe in this, and I just will not. I will not write about Mezquila.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, well, you're kind of a jerk. But with me, I go down there and they're like, hey, Sammy Hagar's going to make you a margarita.
Yes, that's different.
And I was like, oh my God. So it turns out there's just two of us. There's just two people in there. And I'm like, oh my God, it's just me and this other woman from media. And here's Sammy fucking Hagar making me a margarita.
That's cool.
It was very, very cool, but I'm not a signature guy, right? So I didn't want to insult him. Right. I didn't want to insult him by not asking for his signature. So I figured, what is the best way that I can, honor Sammy Hagar and who he is? So I just pulled up my like kind of withered, half-hearted bicep, and I'm like, will you just sign right there? And he signed my bicep. It was the most crowning glory of my entire career. And right afterwards, I went to the best tequila bar in San Diego.
Cantina Maywell,
and showed it off to everybody. And Larry's like, I don't give a shit. What do you want?
That actually sounds completely right. I love that. Thank you, Larry.
Welcome to Happy Half Hour. I'm Troy Johnson. They're a very wellness Troy Johnson. I actually spent the weekend at a spa. I don't do that very often, and it was just everything that I needed, and I think I got pink eye.
Wellness boy, Troy Johnson.
Jackie Bryant is here with us, a longtime food writer in San Diego, and today we are talking cocktails with one of the best in the city, the woman who runs Trust, Cardellino, Fort Oak. This is where we're at, sitting right now, one of my favorite restaurants in San Diego. Brad Wise has built an entire empire of good, wood smoked good. And this series is brought to you by such a cheesy thing. We are partnered with our good friends, the San Diego Tequila. That doesn't even have
the Tequila of San Diego.
Tequila of San Diego. Bebemos. Salud. Is sending us on a tour of some of our favorite restaurants. We're going to be telling their stories, tell the stories of the bartenders, of the chefs, of the culture. They give a damn about San Diego's culture, and they're sending us on a storytelling tour. God damn, it's good.
Do we need to clink again for the photography?
Oh, shit.
Okay. Perfect for a Monday afternoon.
Bebemos, I will gladly be their pitch man, but it's just genuinely one of the best tequilas that I've tasted. And it is out of San Diego, run by people who spent a couple years going down into Mexico looking for their small batch, 100% agave, growers and farmers, and they found them. It was that Dreamweaver moment, and they bottled it and created like one of the most beautiful brands that I've ever seen. This is your new tequila of San Diego. All right, so that is it. We're going to have the boys from the brand on the podcast in just a little bit. But first, today, Jackie, our news.
Yeah, so Civico 1845 is celebrating its 10th anniversary.
I love Civico, the most Italians ever.
I love them.
Oh,
it's
my
great.
God.
It's great. It's great. And I you know what? They're always trying new things, redoing new things, putting this new thing on the menu, this new section. Like they're doing it for love of the game.
One of the first vegan Italian menus in tasting menus in the country, definitely in California.
Yeah. That's actually probably one of the, what got me regularly eating vegan food actually was just because I ate there all the time. So it's their 10th year anniversary. They're celebrating this anniversary with the summer-long collab menu called 10 Years of Calabrifornia, which I'm obsessed with because the brothers are from Calabria, which is a region in southwestern Italy where a lot of actually historical Italian Americans hail from that region. So the menu features 5 local chefs: Claudia Sandoval from MasterChef, Brad Wise from Trust, which we are sitting in Fort Oak right now, the restaurant group, Travis Swikert from Cali, Accurcio Lota from Cori Trattoria, and Enea Sintoni from Ambrosio 15. There's veal ravioli with nuja de mi, pork belly tacos with Calabrian chili and pineapple, which is kind of a riff on an al pastor, zucchini blossom stuffed with Calabrian cheese and honey, spicy chocolate profiteroles.
Yeah. There's a great damn menu by some of the best chefs.
It's available now
at Civico all month long. Okay.
All right, so Jitters Coffee Pub is having a relaunch party. Jitters, that's the coffee pub in Oceanside with a lot of live music that Jason Mraz signed up to be a partner of to help bring back to life. They're hosting a free summer bash on Saturday, July 12th from 12 to 5 p.m.
Okay, and Jason's going to be there, I believe, right?
Jason is going to be there.
Okay.
So yeah, they're celebrating the full renovation, new hours, revamped menu. He's going to be there. Felix Alcaide from One Kitchen Collaborative, he's going to be there too. There's going to be live music. There's going to be all sorts of delicious food. I'm really excited
Imagine
for that.
winning a couple Grammys and you're like, you know what? This is just a really cool little cafe. It's not a moneymaker.
I could totally imagine this. This is what I'm always saying about like evil rich people. I'm like, dude, if I had that much money, you know what would happen to me? You would never hear from my ass again. I would be buying a little coffee pub and living up on a hill in Fallbrook and growing avocados. And you know what I mean? Like he's doing it. He's doing fame and wealth, relative wealth, totally right.
Yeah, if you ever are up in Oceanside, now is the time. I mean, last year was the time. Last 20 years was the time because this place has been like a cornerstone of the coffee and music culture up there.
Yeah.
But now Jason basically walked in and she was going to walk away.
What a mensch.
She was going to walk away and she's like, you know what? I'm done. He's like, no, you're not. It's too special to the community. Why don't I come in and be a partner? Go up, see Jitters.
The California Wine Festival is back, coming back to Carlsbad. This event has turned into like a thing. It's really become a thing over the years, right?
They've gotten some really good wines there now.
I know.
In the beginning, you saw it and you're like, okay, that's not bad.
Another wine festival.
And then it kept
happens.
on getting better and better and better.
Yeah, it's a high octane one now. So it's returning June 20th to the 21st at Park Hyatt at Aviera in Carlsbad. Friday is going to have a rare and reserve tasting with limited production wines, gourmet appetizers, a champagne welcome, and a silent auction. There's the Beachside Wine Festival on Saturday, which also has a VIP section, and that's 100 plus wineries, regional craft breweries, food from local restaurants like Senor Grubby's, Prager Brothers, a whole bunch of other stuff. That's like your like grand tasting, for lack of a better term.
Prager Brothers, if you guys haven't had Prager Brothers, I mean,
know,
I think everybody now at this point in San Diego, if you appreciate bread and are not just running from gluten like your life depends on it, the Prager Brothers.
Whether you know or don't, you've had it.
Oh, it's
because
so
they have a commercial bakery, and so a lot of restaurants will carry their bread. And so
one of the first in
not,
San Diego to actually mill their own wheat, and that's why it's so damn good. It's because they actually have flavor and nutrients and everything else. Anyways,
that's pretty cool. So live music both days, ocean views. Go get your tickets. And Caravan Pizza is popping up at the Comic-Con Museum. So Caravan Pizza is the National City spot with wood-fired pies from the 910 and Barbarella alums, and so they will now have a daily residency at the Comic-Con Museum in Balboa Park. It's open daily from 11 to 5. You don't need to buy a ticket to the museum to grab a slice, which is so cool. The menu rotates. It's inspired by current exhibits. So obviously with Comic-Con coming up, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff. And I think it's really cool. It's like yet another cool place to eat in Balboa Park. We're obviously having a pop-up moment. We wrote about this in our Best Restaurants issue, right?
Yep.
And this is just... The rent is too damn high, so this is going to keep happening. I like it.
If I'm going to eat pizza, somebody that was trained by Jason Nibb of 910, one of my favorite chefs that I've ever come across.
Forget it. Yeah. Sold.
Absolutely. Yes. And you know the weird thing about Barbarella in La Jolla? Barbarella in La Jolla has been there, I think, for now 20-something years. I don't know.
I've never actually been.
So they have a Nikki St. Who's the famous artist?
Nikki de St. Phal.
Thank you. Pizza oven or an oven made.
I'm sorry, what?
Decorated an original Nikki.
By her?
Nikki what?
Nikki de St. Phal, because a very famous artist. If you don't know who, Queen Calafia's, that beautiful park up in Escondido. Yep. If you think about Gaudi.
Balboa Park, the mosaics.
Yeah, she's got Gaudi vibes. So anyway, very famous visual artist and sculptor, moved to La Jolla, actually... and then had to move further inland. So she moved to La Jolla because she had lung scarring from all of the oil paints that she used and had a really, really bad terminal slow degenerative lung illness. Moved to La Jolla. It ended up being too cloudy and damp in La Jolla. So then she had to move further inland, and that's where she ended up dying.
Wow, that was the most depressing story I've ever heard.
I'm really
fantastic.
sorry, but she's a little. I mean, that's like our lure. It's so cool that we have such like an international famous artist here with a pizza oven at Barbarella in La Jolla.
That's it. Nothing but your insider knowledge of San Diego's food scene.
More than you ever wanted to know or asked for.
More than you ever wanted to know. All right, that's your news for today. You can go on to sandiegomag.com. We do Beth Demon does a fantastic job of keeping all the San Diego food news up to date. You can watch it on our Instagram. You guys obviously love it so much because every time we share anything about a new pizza place or anything like that, it gets shared thousands and thousands of times. And that's it. So coming up next, we got the boys from Bebemos. We've also got Jess Stewart, who runs the bar program at, again, one of our favorite places, Fort Oak, where we're sitting in right now, and Trust and Cardellino and all the places, incorporating a little bit of savory notes and smoke into her cocktails. We'll talk about that, and then we'll just ask her some inane questions. All right. Okay. Here are the cocktails that are have been made with Bebemos. And Preston, you just tried this, and it changed your life. I saw
it was yeah. I'm
This
still feeling it.
You're still feeling it.
Oh yeah.
All right.
What's the deal?
Just wait.
Oh god damn, that's good.
You share the wealth?
Oh god.
No, they should have made you one. Sorry.
Okay. Fair.
All right. So we've talked about them. These are the guys that have sponsored the tour of telling the stories of San Diego's food scene because they give a damn about San Diego and about the food culture because that's where you're from. Welcome, Preston Caffrey and Patrick Tracy. How are you?
Very good. Thanks for having
You're
us.
the most dashing. Oh, you guys are both really good looking dudes. Let's just make this awkward off the start. But you especially, you're like Hollywood, like a 1950s Western film, but like the good one, not the shitty one.
Okay,
you know?
I will take it. That's the best compliment I think I've ever gotten.
This is so romancy. Who said anything about male loneliness? You guys are doing great.
Should we hold hands? I feel like we should hold hands.
Okay, so yeah, we definitely are going to start holding hands.
Yep.
Well, I want to catch back up. If you guys caught our last episode, which you didn't, you need to watch Ranch 45 because it was just a great episode. And we introduced Bebemos. And once a month, we're going to come back. We're going to crush some food, a raw seafood tower with lobster. It looks like a Wagyu hot dog we're going to have, dry aged in-house at Fort Oak. Some oysters, of course, and everything else. But with Bebemos, you guys started this together. There's a few partners in this, but how did you guys meet? Who came up with the idea?
Yeah, that's great. I'll start and then I'll let you dive in. So our other partner that's not here right now, John Maddox, he and I have been best friends forever, and we've worked together for years, and then got back together and started Bebemos. And with Patrick basically saying like, I can take this thing and make it beautiful and make it real. And so we were working on a project together called We Drink Tequila. That's started this whole import distribution. And so
you guys were We Drink Tequila. If you don't know, you can go on wedrinktequila.com.
Yep.
And you can see the videos that you did, like really exploring Mexico and trying to find that. Tequila.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so Patrick, it was John and I had this idea during COVID to go down and basically, again, steal my wife's business plan, but do it with tequila.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And a dear friend of ours, David Cook, was like, I got a guy. You need to tell the story the way you want. If you're going to do it, you got to talk to my buddy Patrick.
Well, I think Dave, called you, or you guys talked to Dave, and you're like, hey, we're going to maybe start this company, and if we do, we're going to want a website and pictures. You come down with your camera and take some pictures. Dave's like, I'm not a photographer or a storyteller. He's like, yeah, I own a camera, but he's like, if you guys want to do this, do it right. And he put John and Preston in touch with me, and I think it was ended up being an hour and a half long phone call about how much we love tequila, and then it was like, I think this is a match made in heaven.
Yeah, this is the purpose of my life that I've been waiting for.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the fortune inside my cookie.
Oh,
yeah.
And we won with that because, again, he was like just getting into tequila, and we were building this thing, and Patrick is like 95% the value of this company. I will say John and I are just kind of like show up.
Write that down.
Yeah, I'm
not
telling you that.
Agree with that because you have great facial hair, and that matters a lot.
Okay.
But the
90.
You have to realize I'm looking at the man's IMDb page here, and if you look at Bebemos,
he has an IMDb page. First of all,
and so
I don't know how updated that is, but
so Patrick has done videos for Avril Lavigne, Justin Bieber, Katy Perry, Carrie Underwood. I mean, you've actually
Troy Johnson and Jackie Bryan and San Diego Magazine. Happy half.
I'm glad to see you finally made it, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But you've won a couple CMTs too, right?
CMAs, CMTs,
CMAs.
ACMs, Clios,
Yeah.
Grammys.
Yeah.
Okay. So then when you look at the branding of Bebemos, it's just beautiful. It's just cool. It's got this. It captures what I feel genuinely is like that 1960s, 50s, 60s,
sure,
70s California.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when did you guys? How'd you guys come up with that? Who was it? Was it you? Was it?
Well, I think that collectively we all look. Tequila is crowded, right?
Yeah.
It's like you guys saying earlier, like the gall to start a tequila brand in 2025.
I don't think I said the gall, to be clear.
No, you didn't, but you know,
Sub word.
but you know, so kind of touching to what you mentioned on the music side of things. That's where I come from, the music industry, and beyond music videos, I'm a creative director. That's what I do primarily with artists. So I work with an artist, you know, at length, controlling their entire visual umbrella to create their brand.
Who are you? Who do you want to be?
Yeah, and it's the visual storytelling of it all. That's how you set yourself apart. Now, the difference is our product is tequila, and that space, the product is music. But that's the only difference. You know, we're creating a brand that's a tangible lifestyle, a tangible look, a feel. And I think Preston and I and John just sort of collectively said, if we're going to start a tequila brand, like, let's focus on, for one, it's got to be the best tequila in the world. If we're going to do it. That's a given.
That was number one and number two.
I have called.
Yes.
I have called, and I don't do this very, very often because we get a lot of people that ask us to, you know, introduce their products to people in the restaurant industry in San Diego. You know, and a lot of times, you know, I'll look at them and taste the product and go, how about we do something else? How about you want to play pickleball? You want to do anything? You know, but this one, and I genuinely
classic pickleball pivot.
Yes, the pickleball pivot. I genuinely have called all my friends and I'm like, dude, it's great. It's just so good. It's you got to try it. You know, whether or not you can carry it, whatever you put it on your menu, whatever you want to do with it, just drink it a little bit.
You're on a few menus now, right?
Yeah.
We are, yeah. We officially launched June 2nd, so it's rolling out. There's a long list. Actually, in fact, we have on our website, we just added a map so you can see all the places you can drink it.
Awesome.
Obviously, all only San Diego.
Yeah.
And our favorite spots to start. So obviously, the Trust Group in general. I mean, we're at Monarch up in Del Mar.
Monarch in Del Mar. Why Fort Oak? Why Trust? What do you love about them?
Well,
I'll tell you what I love about them.
I would say the thing is like when we think about Bebemos just in general, there's a level of sophistication that we're wanting to convey in our brand. It's not like 70s disco. It's deeper than that. And I feel like the Trust Group in general is so spot on with this vibe, this elevated living, but still very approachable. And Fort Oak, I mean, we've been coming here since they opened. There's just an experience. And again, these Oyster Mondays, there's no better deal in San Diego. So no matter what Monday, come down. But this is, I mean, we're excited to be a part of it today, which is, you know, $1 oysters and $12 Bebemos cocktails. You're not going to get that anywhere in San Diego ever again. So,
and so on your site too, do you have more events that you're going to be doing like this? I mean,
tons. Yeah.
Okay. And you've got the list and everything too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll go through it. We'll do a quick, I'll fire them all off at the end.
Because I mean, in this place is for the next half hour. Preston is just going to read off his list of events. That's it.
Yeah. You guys can come back in a minute.
So, I mean, but you got a bunch of sweaty guys cooking over live fire back there. That kind of fits your guys' vibe, right?
1,000%.
Yep.
Yeah. And so going back a little bit, so we were thinking about the vibe, the great tequila that we talked about. The product's great.
Yep.
Now, what were you thinking about the style?
I think that in a crowded market, it's like if you want to stand out, and this goes for any product, whether it's tequila or a music artist, it has to be defined and it has to be unique, and you have to go 100 miles per hour in that direction. And I think we looked at each other and we're like, what is cooler than the 1970s California?
Nothing.
Yeah, like it's just to me, as well as somebody who loves cinema, you think of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You think about like what that era represents. It's just cool. Like I think it's unanimously cool, right? And so I think that we saw that and we said, this is the lifestyle we want to convey and the lifestyle we want to live in.
Yeah.
And so we created it.
And
Sorry.
There was like that ruleless innocence, you know, about, but also that like everything you were doing back then, you could go to jail for now. You know, there's
absolutely.
a little bit of that.
The
Absolutely.
last of the analog era where things were still made well, and they were, to use the word that I know we both hate, but they were bespoke, and things were a little bit more lush.
Craftsman.
I
Like
think
there was
we're
an
looking back with
authenticity to that
nostalgia,
life.
But that's what people feel they lost.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's, I mean, our dream is exactly that. We are selfishly recreating this world so we can live in it.
Yeah.
And our hope is that everybody gets on board, and then, you know, then we're all living Bebemos, and
That sounds pretty fun.
sounds great.
I mean, everything that I've shared with anybody, whether it be the videos we've shot, the stills, the advertisements, it's just everyone's like, I just want to be a part of it.
I want to live.
I want to hang out in that picture.
Well, and here's the thing: like, you need that, especially. Look, I mean, you can have the best product in the world. You know, if you put a fedora on it, you know what I mean? If you just put a really bad fedora and maybe some Comic Sans, it's not going to hit.
Papyrus.
Yeah, papyrus.
It's true. You have to world build for your customers, for your drinkers. You have to. There's so much content being thrown at people from every direction that you have to rise above that. And to do that, it means to world build, right? There's like a literary component of it, I think.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you have now launched. I mean, okay, so we won't get into all of it. We'll get into all of it at one point. But how are you guys doing? You okay? You okay? Launching a company, I'm sure, is really easy. It's really simple, straightforward. So easy. Especially when you're crossing international borders.
It's really easy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no issues at all. All the sleep, right?
Yeah.
We've been getting a lot of sleep. 10 hours a night. Yeah.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. Yeah, I mean, it's like someone said when you have your second child, it's like you're drowning, and then someone throws you a baby. Like it feels a little bit like that, like little drowning, and then they throw us a case of Bebemos. Like, well, but it's incredible. Like and I think the best part is the feedback we've gotten continues to just keep that fire burning because people do love Bebemos.
Well, you spent enough time drinking the stuff and telling the stories, before you actually found your Dreamweaver moment agave farmer, and and so your the partners that you partner with in Mexico, are they happy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Incredibly happy. Yeah. To see it come alive is, I mean, just like anything, right? When you see the birth of your child, you're like, it's here. But the funniest part is, now the work starts.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like everything we've done to get to this point, we're like, oh my gosh, nonstop. And then now we're like, oh, now we have to go to work.
Yeah. This is it.
Yeah.
So Tequila, this is pretty much, screw the music videos. I mean, that's nice. That's nice. But I mean, this is music in a glass.
It's true. This is poetry. This is.
Well, hey, cheers. Congratulations on the launch.
Thank you.
I've got Wagyu burger fingers over.
Okay.
I mean, Wagyu hot dog burger.
It's a better pairing than
Just have to
anything
try
you're going to
this.
have. I mean,
Patrick
need a
Tracy,
refill.
go look up this man's work. It's absolutely phenomenal.
No, we got
He's
straight up
worked with some of
celeb in the house.
The biggest artist in the world. So we're gonna get all the secrets. We're gonna ply him up with enough alcohol that we basically form our own TMZ. So
We're gonna bust up all sorts of.
we got
NDAs
drunk
today.
history coming.
drunk history is on its way. All right, Bebemos, thank you guys. Congratulations on the launch.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, so just had our boys from Bebemos on. One of my favorite places in San Diego, I named Brad Wise my chef of the year. I believe it was last year or the year before. I can't remember. But he's always been one of my favorite chefs in San Diego. One of the first in San Diego to really do a live fire cooking in San Diego with Trust. And then that expanded into Fort Oak, where we're sitting now, and Cardellino and Wise Ox, and Rare Society, which is a great steakhouse. And on Monday nights here at Fort Oak, which is, I mean, it feels great. It feels so. It's one of my favorite places in San Diego.
We've been kind of chilling. Like this recording has. We've just settled into the vibe, and we're enjoying the extreme amazing hospitality here. And like I feel like we can feel the pre-happy hour vibes.
Yeah, the pre-happy hour vibes. So on Mondays, this is when we're here.
Monday.
And the reason on Mondays you do dollar oysters at Fort Oak.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right.
Every Monday from 4 to 6.
And that voice right there is the woman who. So Brad is in the kitchen, and there's a bunch of chefs and cooks that are in the kitchen doing all the savories and stuff like that, and the meals and everything else. But behind the bar, which Trust Restaurant Group has one of the best cocktail programs in San Diego, is the woman you just heard, Jess Stewart, the beverage director of all these dang restaurants. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah. So okay, I want to know? Well, first I want to set up the scene a little bit more. Monday nights, dollar oysters, but then once a month you do dollar oysters with friends.
Yeah, we came up with Oyster Monday with friends, kind of in order to partner with different spirit brands.
Okay.
So whether it be local, new to the market, just kind of get the opportunity to, try different ingredients.
Yep.
And also use like hyper seasonal produce. Like today, we're featuring yellow watermelon. So kind of also a chance to get to experiment.
Okay, you just
Speaking
mentioned
of
this.
which.
Speaking of which, what the hell is this? Because that is delicious. This is yellow watermelon.
Yeah.
The whole thing. What is it?
So it features Bebemos Tequila, who's our like featured brand today, as lemon juice, yellow watermelon that I broke down, and then apricot liqueur, just shaken vigorously, served up.
Shaken vigorously and served up.
Yeah.
That's kind of...
It tastes like a Jolly Rancher, watermelon Jolly Rancher, but in the best way possible, because everyone knows the pink Jolly Rancher, the watermelon one, is the best one.
Yeah, it absolutely is the best one. Aside from sour apple, I
fair.
might insert a vote there
That's
for it.
fair.
It's like a Jolly Rancher, but it's not too sweet.
Thanks.
And it's yellow, but it's perfect.
And so for you guys at home, the reason why this Monday is so cool, I mean, look, you can get $1 oyster at Fort Oak on Mondays. That's phenomenal, period. But then this once a month with the Oyster Mondays with friends, you're bringing in local makers. It's kind of like a pop-up series, and you can kind of show off somebody else doing something really creative in the space, right?
Yeah, it's we normally do like a layout where we have like a house creation cocktail featured, like a cult classic cocktail. So today we're going to have just a classic margarita, and then a modern classic or a forgotten classic. I feel like with tequila and mezcal, there's not a ton of classic cocktails made with those because they're a little bit newer.
Yep.
So we'll do like a modern classic. So today we're featuring Oaxacan Old Fashioned.
Okay, gotcha.
Ooh, I love this one. It's okay, well, I drank half of it. So
Okay,
you can't really
it was
see
a
it.
Oaxacan old fashioned. Now it is a Jackie old fashioned.
But it's perfect because I feel like the tequila, because this is a little bit more of a complex tasting tequila. You got a little bit of smoke, you got a little bit on there, and it adds some bitterness into this. That's really beautiful, but it's so balanced. Like it doesn't punch you in the face like a regular old fashioned does. Like this is way lighter,
Yeah, it slaps
way
you in-
more
slaps you in
sessionable,
the
way
face
more
with a white
summer.
glove. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it.
And talk about the wood fired element. So when you think about tequila and you think about mezcal, those drinks, I mean, they go really well with smoke. You guys have a live oak wood fired stove in the back.
We
And
do.
And you're using it in cocktails, right?
In some aspect, I wouldn't say like we necessarily like grill any components, but always working with chefs using ingredients that the kitchen cross utilizes.
Like what?
And like we've used in the past, like the fennel tops as a garnish, or I've made, we talked earlier about like a corn cocktail where I use like the leftover cobs and the husks as like part of the garnish. So we try to cross utilize like those kind of savory ingredients and elements. My goal is always to try to make the drinks taste as good as the food. And I think being a chef driven concept, it's always trying to incorporate those kitchen techniques and the inspiration from the kitchen in the program as well.
So somebody was trying to throw away a spent corn cob.
Yeah,
and
like,
the
wait,
husk.
I can use that.
Yeah, right. What did you do?
So they cut the corn off the cob after they grill it. So use the cob and the kind of starch in that to make a syrup, and then use the husk as like kind of like they do like a banana leaf, like in the glass with crushed ice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How bad is the word mixology, and how much does it make the creepy creeps go up in you? Do you like that word?
I wouldn't say I'd consider myself a mixologist. I wouldn't say I use a lot of like gastronomy techniques, or science based. I kind of follow a little bit more.
So that's
the
the dividing
old school.
line. That's interesting. That there's sort of a technique line in there. I didn't know
Every
that.
bartender I know just hates that word. So
Yeah, no, totally same. But this is actually like the first evidence-based explanation for it. No, and I love this.
All right.
So mixology implies like there's a gastronomy, there's a science to it. You're tinkering,
There's
you're
an
doing
ulcer in the
ratios.
brain.
To me, there is. I don't
Okay,
know if
yeah.
there's a line in the sand,
love
kind of
this.
you say. And I do try to incorporate like kitchen techniques, but I wouldn't say that we do a lot of gastronomy, nor do I in our programming.
talk to me about the kitchen techniques. Like, what do you do? I mean, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, I've definitely like upped my game in terms of equipment. Like we use like a Vitamix immersion blender. That's definitely something I picked up from the kitchen.
Yep.
What else do we do? Kitchen techniques. I guess just like applications, like we add a little bit of salt to certain things, or inspiration, like the kitchen. They're doing.
Do you put salt in that?
Oh yeah, there's a little bit of salt.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's what makes it pop.
That's
why
what
the
makes
flavors
it
are so
pop.
vivid.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You need it in there. I
Yeah.
mean, like bitters are kind of the salt and pepper of cocktails, aren't they? Like a little bit of the spice. It's seasoning.
Yeah, I guess like seasoning. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Sure. But you use a little bit of like actual salt in there too to make it.
Yeah, especially with watermelon, it goes so well.
Salt and watermelon. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a perfect summer treat.
Yeah.
That's it. How strong are your arms?
Yeah, I think they're pretty decent. I mean, I can't do a pull up or anything, but
Got it. And why do bartenders hate mojitos?
I think it's the aspect of the like muddling the mint, then it kind of like gets
It's just
everywhere.
very labor intensive and messy.
Yeah.
So that's one of my questions for you. What is the cocktail that you would get rid of, that you would send to a different planet if you possibly could?
I think maybe a Long Island iced tea.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Because it's just pouring a bunch of booze in a glass?
Because there's no
Yeah.
point, right? There's
Yeah.
no mixing.
Well, I think the point is just
Right.
to drink. And it's like a weird combination of things, and like there's Coke in it. Like, I don't know. It's just like, to me, it kind of seems odd.
Do you make any cocktails with
It's like the
Coca-Cola?
casserole of cocktails.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess you can do like a rum and Coke, like a Cuba Libre, but
I was going to say either
Yeah.
that or like a Calimocho, and those are, which is just red wine, or like a Tinto Verano doesn't have it. So yeah, like Coke just is like a standalone, that's like the one soda you don't mix with anything, really.
yeah, that's what I would say. I would prefer not to make those.
I prefer that never ever happen again.
And so anything with too much fuss, like too much muddling, too much, it just kind of slows down the line, and that's why bartenders tend to hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like we will still obviously make a mojito, and I think that there are ways to like make it go smoother, and like in preparation and having, you know, ingredients already made to do that. I think sometimes bartenders don't like drinks that they aren't set up to make. So if your bar doesn't already have mint or doesn't have, you know, cucumbers or whatever it is, that extra ingredient, and it's requiring like them to go get it and slice it.
So it's
Those
like
are kind of things.
any other job, you do actually have to be organized to be successful.
Oh, isn't that
yeah.
crazy?
Yeah,
I
well, we
know.
have that mise en place.
Yeah, you got your
Yeah.
mise en place behind
Yeah.
the bar too. I mean, oh my God, this is why I got fired from being a bartender within a week and a half, and it was the right decision in every means. I had the worst mise en place in the entire world. I never put a bottle of vodka or a bottle of tequila
way.
back in the same spot twice.
No chance.
Oh, yeah.
No chance.
No
We
way.
have everything like here at Fort Oak, we have 2 wells, and everything in both wells they're mirrored. So you could go from one to the other and everything's in the same spot.
That's sexy.
You have to arrange the furniture for instinct, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you get that muscle memory, and that's why the bartenders, I mean, they're extremely talented here, but also everything's in the same spot, and that kind of creates that rhythm, muscle memory, and they can make those drinks really fast.
Yep. All right. So, what is your tequila drink? Obviously, you've tasted your own creations. The one that you go to every day. If you're like, I'm going to make a tequila drink, what's yours?
I really like the one we have on the menu here right now. I just made it for the Bebemos guys. It has orange bell pepper and habanero, so it has that savory element paired with a mango liqueur and tequila, refreshing. I would say I normally go and really take pride in like our refreshing cocktails, and that they're easy to drink, not too sweet.
What was the worst idea you ever had? I mean, the one that you're like, I'm going to try this. It's going to be so creative, and you tasted it, and it was absolutely terrible, undrinkable.
I put Parmesan. I thought I could fat wash bourbon with Parmesan.
Yes.
Weirdly, like now, years later, like people are doing like Parmesan shaved on top of cocktails, which
Okay.
obviously that's a way better idea than trying to
I don't know.
like.
I can see
you know,
how
put
I can
it
see why you
in
went
the
that way.
bourbon. Yeah,
Scientifically,
yeah.
what happened?
It just kind of was odd.
Yeah. It's just like you pour some bourbon inside the green canister, that sort of thing.
I think I grated it
Hell
down,
yeah.
but yeah,
I'm just
it
thinking
it
of like a
just wasn't
Parmesan
good
cheese
idea.
wheel, like pouring bourbon right into it table side.
Yeah.
just marrying gimmicks together.
Yeah, it was just a little too strange.
Now, and what is your favorite ingredient the new ingredient? So I had a drink the other day that had sesame oil in it, and it was phenomenal. Never did I think that I
that.
needed sesame oil in my drink. But
I
it was,
actually believe that.
It was in a cocktail, and it was so good.
Were you at Trust?
I was not. Do you have one at Trust with sesame oil?
We do, yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's with strawberry, bourbon, lemon, Aperol, and then it has a toasted sesame oil on it.
God, that's
Oh,
perfect.
it was so great.
It's a perfect strawberry cocktail.
Give me a couple other ingredients like that maybe people at home could be like, oh, yeah, I'll try that.
Well, like I mentioned, bell pepper. Every restaurant right now has a bell pepper cocktail in it. So I was really inspired. They have this really high water content, which makes them great for syrups. So here I have the habanero, orange bell pepper. At Trust, they have a yellow bell pepper that we pair with elderflower and mezcal.
Yep.
Really good. Rare Society has a red bell pepper raspberry syrup and a gin cocktail. So I just find it's really like versatile and fun, and it's also cool to do. Different restaurants have like different themes, and that if I really like an ingredient, I probably wouldn't put like 4 bell pepper cocktails on one menu,
right?
Because it's kind of polarizing as well. But it's kind of fun that if you like really like an ingredient, you can find different applications for it.
And so now you're in charge of a lot of different bartenders. You are managing all the restaurants and their menus. What is the one thing, like when we have writers that come into San Diego Mag, I say, I've got a list of do's and don'ts. I have a whole manifesto that I'm like, this is probably the best way. This is probably not. This is probably the best way. What are your do's and don'ts for cocktails? Like, is there anything that you tell every new bartender that comes in?
Being behind a bar in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like the technique to make the drink, like the order in which you do it, is super important and can really change the outcome of the drink.
Yeah.
So like, if you're adding ice to the 10 before you add the alcohol and then you're pouring the alcohol over the ice, that can make it too diluted. So I think that like that sort of step-by-step process and how we make the drinks is probably like the most important thing to instill someone who's training, to make sure that like we're all making the drinks in the same like fluid manner, also for efficiency as well.
Right. Got it. What made you want to become a bartender? Why you do this?
I went to a place that just had like phenomenal hospitality. It was like a speakeasy when I was living in Denver, and I worked down the street, and I would go in there and they were just like so warm and welcoming, and had this like wealth of knowledge. I was just so inspired. I told them that I wanted to work there, and they're like, trained me from the ground up to like quizzes on classic cocktails every day. And I started as like a cocktail server in the lounge, and then learned to bartend. So I think just that like really warm hospitality kind of open the door for the craft scene for me.
Yep. Yeah. And do you have like a collection of like Esmelda Marcos really soft, nice shoes? Do you have like a great collection of shoes with fantastic soles on them?
I feel like I'm more of like
You're a high heel bartender?
No, I like
Okay.
wear a pair of shoes until they're done.
Okay,
So instead of
got
have a
it.
big collection, I kind of like, wear them, then they're done, and then move on to the next
I
pair.
love that answer, because bartending is so interesting, because I think people on the outside expect that people get into it because they love flavors and alchemy and creating things. And some people definitely do. But more often than not, when you ask them why they like it, they say it is the hospitality aspect, the service aspect. So you're obviously, you would consider yourself a people person, right? Like, do you like serving people and
Yeah, absolutely.
giving to them? And is that kind of part of what the drive that keeps you going?
Definitely. It's been interesting with my most recent promotion. Now I work out of the corporate office, so I'm still in the
I've
restaurant.
heard you've got a killer Google Drive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get
it's
to
really
sit next
highly
to our
organized.
amazing marketing director.
It's different though, right?
Yeah, it is. It's very different. I still work in the restaurant and work service. It is definitely different taking a step back from being like the frontline employee that interacts with the guests every day. But it's really magical to kind of help set up the team to be able to execute as well. So
What is that when you worked in front of the people every single day? I'm sure you came across some wild things. And what is that one story that you still always tell? You're like, oh my God, this one time I had this guest who.
Oh, I mean, that's like, I feel like it's always the kind of same story. But I think what's really cool is being in Mission Hills for so long is kind of getting to see the families and like their kids now are able to come to the bar,
Right,
or like
yeah.
we have had really cool stories where like regulars, like we give their kid a job as a food runner, and then they're kind of like intertwined into our Fort Oak family. So I think that's probably the coolest and unique thing about kind of this neighborhood is how we've kind of really, we're the first full-blown restaurant and kind of like a destination, and how they've embraced us, and we've kind of like worked our way into their story.
That's cool. This neighborhood, which I love, by the way, and very much wish I could afford to live here, but it needed a spot like this. That like it was, you know, and I mean this in the most complimentary way. Like it's beautiful, and Mission Hills is amazing, and the houses are like insane. But and there's always been a lot of like longstanding businesses around here. But I don't know. I feel like this is kind of the cultural anchor that it meets the neighborhood where it's at. It also pushes the envelope forward culinarily, but it's also low key and welcoming. Like it's literally perfect in that respect.
And this was the canary in the coal mine.
Yeah.
You know, and this was the first person to go out to the desert, and which would eventually become Burning Man. I'd imagine in the beginning, that was probably just a couple people camping, right?
Exactly.
And this was that, and now you have communion. Now you have Wolf in the Woods. You have, you know, you got La Puerta right over there.
Yeah.
You know, it's
our staff definitely loves to hang out at La Puerta.
Oh, yeah,
that's the spot.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. The after-hour spot for the Fort Oak crew, for sure.
So every cocktail here is named after cars. But you know, as a bartender, you have to, you love naming things, right? I mean, isn't that the hot? It's like being a musician.
It's normally the most challenging.
See, yeah, I was going to say, as a writer,
really?
people would think we love to title things. I think it's the hardest part, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you get tongue-tied, or you're just like...
Yeah, so I find like creativity is normally easiest for me if I kind of put some parameters around it. And so really taking inspiration from this beautiful building that the bar is located in. And I think what really makes Fort Oak's like layout so unique is the historic building. I decided to name the cocktails after classic American cars to kind of pay homage and kind of bring that tie in.
You got a Camaro.
Yeah, we have before that we had a Stingray. Our best-selling cocktails, Chevelle, a dirty martini with blue cheese olives.
There you go.
We have a Fairlane, always a great seller. Our household fashions called the Roadmaster.
Nice.
So yeah, we have all different types of variety of drinks.
Yeah, because if you don't know this place, it was like a 1950s Ford dealership.
Yeah.
You know, and it was Jonathan Siegel is the architect on it. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. The round bar basically used to be like a showroom, I believe, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was when there was just one model, the Model T in the front.
Okay, we got to talk about the lions of this place.
Talk about the big cats of Fort Oak.
The big cats of Fort Oak. So this place, okay, there was a building that was being built at Balboa Park, which is now the Aerospace Museum, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Aerospace Museum. You know that building. You know it's round. The guy who built this loved it so much that he did a tiny little replica of it, and that's why that part of the building is around. And you see lions all over Fort Oak because the guy who built it in the 1930s actually owned a couple lions, and he would bring them here on the weekends.
Like, I think we're staring at the former lion pit, that courtyard where no doubt many of you have had dinner, drinks, what have you. Like, was a lion pit like, you know, the Coliseum back in Roman times where they would put people in it.
Yeah, they just throwing people to them.
There's one in Mission Hills, and it's at Fort Oak.
You get a little too drunk and you just get fed to the lions?
Holy shit, we are looking at a picture. I can't believe this is happening. And I'm like a little buzzed, so this is perfect.
So that's the building.
That's the building. The Gilmore Ford. Oh my God. And they used to set up like a full carnival. This is the 1930s.
This was a circus.
There are lions. There were actual carnivorous cats.
Okay, you need to name a cocktail the lion. I know you're going by cars, but I mean that needs to be the exception. Yeah, the lioness maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
We can work on this. All right. All right, so finding out historical notes, including rabid lions.
We're learning so
at the dealership. You know,
rabid lions.
I'm making it up now. We're just going to keep on going with this. Anyways, well, look, the first Monday with Oysters with Friends happened with Bebemos. The next one will happen when it happens, and you'll find somebody creative that you're going to do it with.
Definitely.
Vibes. Yeah. Honestly, that's so San Diego. I love it.
Yeah, right on. I mean, that's kind of how you build a culture. You invite friends over for dinner, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
essentially.
that's it. Monday Oysters with Friends at Fort Oak. And what is our Instagram for Fort Oak? It's at Fort Oak SD. Check it out. You can check out her car-themed cocktails, which are absolutely fantastic.
They are.
Now let's move on to $50 for you. Let's start.
I finally made it to Bianchi, the new pizza and pasta spot at the Bahia Resort, which I have to admit, I hadn't known before I went there if I had ever been there. and this is embarrassing, but a lot of those bayfront resorts, sometimes if you don't go there often or you don't live by the beach, they can meld into one in your brain. So I didn't really know if I had been there or not, and I hadn't. It was my first time there ever, and it was lovely. I felt like I was right in Italy. Just really good pizza, really good pasta, excellent pesto, very good house-made gelato. They had a passion fruit sorbet, like sorbetto kind, and then they also had like chocolate and caramel. It's a chef who is from Italy, knows how to make like Neapolitan style pizza. It's
they
great.
got one of those big fancy pizza ovens
They
as
do.
well.
They do.
Bahia is one of my favorite low key spots in San Diego. Period. And I don't know why
I have
love
not
it.
spent any time there, and now I'm going to be going all the time with my family, all the time.
My family stays there every summer
It's
because
great.
it's just low key.
And it's got beautiful mid-century modern like vibes and design. I was looking at the hotel and I was like, wait, why? This is just, the design is beautiful and it's of the moment without having to do much to be of the moment. Like,
so
it's come back
Bianchi,
around.
new pizza joint. Okay, got it. She prepped you about your favorite spot to eat, right?
Is it? Does it have to be somewhere new?
Yeah, you just have to be
No.
new. It can be old.
No.
It can be old. It can be.
Do you know how many times I've done In
They
and
can
Out?
have lions.
Literally?
There.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with mine though to give you
Okay.
one more second.
Okay, great.
I went to the Pendry the other day because they've got Brandon Sloan is one of my favorite chefs in San Diego. Really nice guy, and he does a great job at Provisional Kitchen. And we ate there, and it was great. If you go to Provisional Kitchen, you've got to get their yellowtail crudo, which is delicious, sun gold, but also their squid ink pasta. Holy crap! They do it with a sun gold tomato sauce. Sun gold tomatoes are the best tomatoes that were ever created. I love them so much.
agree with that.
When I cooked on Food Network once, and the culinary person and the culinary people on any show are the best people in the world. They know everything about food. They obsess over it. They have Instagram pages just designed for like ingredients. It's almost like
cool.
mini dolls, and they all have names, kind of creepy almost. But he came out to me. He's like, "I got Sun Golds, man. They're the best tomatoes in the world. You're gonna win with these." But if a Sun Gold tomato squid ink pasta, that's absolutely great. Okay, but the amazing thing that I had. Nason's Beer Hall, which is kind of their casual place.
You were freaking out about this.
I did not. I was like, look, man, I'll go in and I'll have a drink.
It's
It'll
Beer
be
Hall.
a nice, probably
Bacon
get
Brussels sprouts,
a pretzel, whatever. They have this grilled cheese, birria grilled cheese. Oh my God. It is, the outside of the grilled cheese is one of those grilled cheeses, right? So it's got that like crispy, browned, crisp up cheese.
like that quesillo that they crisp up.
And
Hell
then
yeah.
the toast in the middle. And then you've
Yeah.
got melted cheese in the middle. You got birria. And then you dip it in the consomme. That has got to be 95,000 calories of my utmost
Sounds great.
joy. It is one of the best things that I've eaten in a very, very long time. And my time on this earth may be short because I ate it.
I also have to make just one more note on two people. I said Bianchi, which is how I'll always pronounce it because I'm from New York and I have an accent, and Bianchi's in my family. I think it's actually Bianchi, like if you were pronouncing it in the real Italian way. So like, don't go around town saying it.
All right,
like
look at
I
that.
did.
She just corrected her own Italian.
Sorry,
An Italian
I just had to
American.
do that. It's been eating at my brain.
All right. Jess, where do you like to eat? What's your spot?
Tribute pizza.
Hell yeah.
I
the
know.
best.
I feel like it's always the fan favorite, but the hot honey on the crust
Yep.
is the absolute best.
The
And
soft serve.
yeah.
Holy shit.
Seasonal soft serve. Big fan.
Soft
Passion fruit
serve
right now.
with olive oil on it too.
Yeah.
Yes. And sea salt.
Yeah.
I should just go work there. I really love tribute. I'm like,
Yeah.
A friend of mine just texted me today, and he called and said, I need somebody in San Diego that does pizza, and he needs to come out to this house somewhere. It's a very big deal, and he's like, who? And I'm like, I'm like, tribute. You've got
Yeah.
it. You
And
got
I
it.
love that they do like so many different styles and the everything bagel crust. I mean, they've got it all.
That's
and
it.
he's a good dude.
All right. So that is it. Thank you, Jess, for coming on and sharing your cocktails with us. That thing that you made with Bebemos is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
I tended to think that the only thing that you should mix with Bebemos is your mouth. But that is a phenomenal variation on it. Fort Oak, Trust, Cardolino, Rare Society. Am I forgetting any one of them?
Oh, and soon to be Aloe
and
West.
Aloe
Yes.
West. Aloe West, a new Trust restaurant group is coming to 30th and University on the corner, a French concept, which that's got to be fun for you. That's going to be it's got to be a little bit of a new spin with the French concept, right?
Definitely. Very excited.
Yeah. Are you going to have some chartreuses? You're going to have, what are you doing?
There's chartreuse shortage.
Definitely going to have chartreuse. I mean, you have to.
Yeah. You got to.
Oh yeah, we're maybe gonna. I know the trend's really popular with the tiny teenies, but we're working on maybe incorporating that in our happy hour.
Okay.
We're definitely gonna have like martini service with some savory elements as well. So all still in development, but very excited.
And Aloes is coming in the like fallish, we think.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, got it. Yeah, with a restaurant opening or a brand launch or whatever it may be.
We'll be here whenever you're ready.
We will be here. And it may be 7 months later. That's been Happy Half Hour. Thank you guys very much for listening. We'll be back next week with who do we got next week? Who knows? It's going to be great. Enjoy. Bye.